Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK Journey video. So we are back on Prydwen.gg, one of my favorite website for AFK Journey, and in today's video we're gonna do a Prydwen tier list review. So for this video we'll cover all the different categories from the AFK stages, deficit pushers, all the way to the PvP side. So I won't actually specifically run through each individual unit. If the unit doesn't leave a massive impression, then I probably won't talk too much, because I want to run through everything and talk about my personal opinions as well as why certain units are up there or even down there, or why they changed position previously. So let's start with the very first one, AFK deficit pushers. So Lily May Arden Odie S+, okay. Harak S, okay. I think Harak's deficit pushing power is definitely there, but you probably need some sort of I'll say like team support in the form of like Mauler teams in general, or even your wildest team to keep him healthy before he starts to steamroll. So Harak's position is definitely S+ in the AFK deficit pushing side, because I do use him a lot, specifically for the fractional talent stages as well as certain Mauler teams in the normal AFK stage itself. Other than that, Arden's S+ for sure, because of Iron Armor's combos as well as just really good AoE damage with control. And then Lily May, obviously as usual, one of the better free-to-play carries for most people, and Odie always gonna be good for the insta killing potential. Okay, so Floribel and Lenya, I don't know about Lenya though. Yeah, I don't know about Lenya because, okay, first of all, right, Floribel is S because Floribel deals with quite a bit of niche characters, such as those that are really good against single target. So those additional bodies that Floribel summon allows her to be really good against those pesky minions that are good against single target units. So that's why I can see Floribel being S, being useful for that purpose, as well as being decently good for zoo teams or summon teams in general. For Harak's case, like I mentioned earlier, should be a S+. For Lenya's case, I think provided you're able to keep her alive, she is able to be a really good single target carry. But specifically for AFK stage, especially at massive deficit, I don't think Lenya's that good. I think Lenya should actually go down to the A tier, because Lenya has something similar to Elsa. Both of them are decently good for bursting. Both of them deals really good damage with some sort of control on the enemy itself, but they die really easily. Like, they just specifically really frail. I don't know why. So that's why even more frail than Harak, by the way. So I don't think Lenya should be an S tier, but instead should be an A tier over here. As for the other units, yeah, they're pretty accurate on the DPS side, so we're not gonna talk too much about them in terms of their tier ratings. Yeah, so the worst units over here, these are the usable, really niche ones, and then we have the okay, can slot into most teams one, and then we have obviously the best of the pack. Now for the specialist side, okay, so these are the buffers, debuffers, as well as control units. So Iron, Carolina, definitely still some of the top tier characters. Scarlita, yes, Scarlita is still S+ tier here, because I think some of you guys might be thinking like, why is Scarlita still here? You know, I don't see that many Scarlita usage. So Scarlita's still there because of the ability to send out units immediately, which is actually really useful against a lot of enemies that comes back to life, or has multiple lives, or just need some sort of insta kill to send them out of the battlefield itself. So that's why Scarlita is definitely S+, because she's the only unit in this category that can do just that, and she's also really flexible, being a shielder, a controller, as well as damage dealer. So definitely S+ for sure, at least in massive deficits. Sonja's really good right now. Yeah, like if you can keep her alive, she basically goes well in most teams, so I can agree with this positioning. Tarsi being S though. Okay, Talyn in S is okay. I think Talyn is really strong, but she has her problems. Tamaja's S because of the Iron Armor's control. That ability to just group everyone and then stomp on them and hold them in place is just really incredible. So I can see why she's S. But Tarsi, I think Tarsi is definitely S+, because of the light bearer Tarsi comp, right? Being able to dominate most matchups. And Tarsi, even in the normal AFK stages, has really good synergy together with the likes of Sonja, as well as the Iron teams in general. So I do think that Tarsi is worthy of the S+ tier. But other than that, everything is fine. Let's take a look at the rest. Okay, Shakir is usable. Nara's usable in Smoky teams, so A tier, yes, for sure. Parisa's usable in specific matchups with the Iron teams where you need more damage and you don't have Carolina or Arden freed up, or maybe Odie freed up. So I think Parisa's okay. A tier, yes. B tier. Okay, Hot Skin. Sinbad. Okay, personally I think Sinbad's worthy of an A tier. In a sense, Sinbad, I think I'm not sure whether I mentioned this before, but Sinbad is actually really good for debuffing really tanky characters or debuffing really hard-hitting characters. So he's also quite niche in a sense. I think he should be in the same slot as Nara, because you use Nara specifically to pull enemies into the Smoky's Aroma Cloud. But for Sinbad's case, you use him specifically to deal with really tanky characters like Almas, or just those beefy right guards itself that can regenerate HP or hit really hard. That's where Sinbad comes into play, with dealing with those pesky units over here. So I think Sinbad can be an A tier. Cassidy, Hodgkin, Laika is a Trana B tier. I think it's fine. Hodgkin is debatable, but right now with regards to the current meta, I think whatever Hodgkin can do, you have decently good options in the tank compartment. So that's why I can see why Hodgkin is in the B tier. So Sinbad should go up to the A tier, and then for the C tier, yeah, these are okay units. So we're not going to factor in the Light Bearer factional talent. With, if not, like all the Light Bearer characters will be on top, because you can just slot them in, right? Corey is definitely usable in the Light Bearer factional tile, but we're not using him mostly for what he does. We're using him mostly for the faction. Same thing for Walker, but Walker has this added benefit for the control, so there's that. But outside of the Light Bearer side, pretty much useless. So I guess you can put them in a C tier. Same thing for Faye. These units, they are usable in the Light Bearer factional talent teams, but outside of that, you just can't find any use for them anywhere else. So that's why they're not that good. So that is their rating here. So Sinbad should probably go a little bit higher in the A tier for very niche counters to really tanky units, or just really powerful carry units on the opponent's end. Now for the support side, okay, we have Coco, Smoky, okay. Yeah, Coco, Smoky, two of the strongest support for AFK stage pushing. Hewin, Damien closely after. Rowan's, yeah, Rowan's definitely okay. Actually, to be honest, I think Rowan is worthy of the S plus, to be honest, because first of all, Rowan's a key piece for the Light Bearer factional talent. Like, Light Bearer factional talent is not OP without Rowan. Like, it's an OP factional talent, but it's more broken with Rowan, so that's one of the reasons why he's a must-have in that team. And on top of that, you can use Rowan with multiple existing good teams to accelerate your ultimate usage specifically for this season. So that's why for this season, at least at where we are right now, I think Rowan is worthy of the S plus tier. Yeah, specifically for the factional talent team, you need him for sure, and also his really good flexibility into multiple teams. So other than that, everything is fine. Mikola Ludovic, yes, fine. Mikola's used in the Mauler factional talent together with Harak as well in certain Mauler teams for general push. Then the rest is as such okay. Now for the tank side, Presto Almas, yes, for sure. Luca and Tendra and Brutus in the S tier, fair. Torrent in the A tier. Yeah, to be honest, I think Torrent has fallen off quite a bit, because Torrent doesn't have any ways to buff himself defensively, so he gets broken pretty easily, and then it affects your backline. Like, your backline actually get targeted by the opponent, and then they hit so hard that your backline just melts after Torrent falls. So that's why Torrent fell quite a bit, at least on the AFK stage pushing side. So Danny as well, like Danny is tanky, but I think a little bit less tanky compared to these on tops. These units on top. Yeah, Lucas really tanky if you have those buffs on him. So that's that. Okay, so yeah, they definitely fell a little bit. Dandia's never a AFK stage pushing guy. Lucius is usable. Lumon is usable from time to time, but mostly with Maulers. To be honest, I think Lumon can actually go up to A tier, because like he has some niche users in Mauler setups to control in the event you need the additional slam from him. So Lumon can be a little bit higher, but that's pretty much it. Pretty accurate as a whole, except for like those very niche character picks like Sinbad, Lumon, where they have very good tech choices. They should probably be a tier up. And then for Tasi should be S plus. Harak should also be S plus, at least on the AFK stage pushing side. So this with regards to the AFK stage pushing side. I am not going to cover that much on the Battle Drill side, because not a big fan of it, but let's talk about the other stuff. So Dream Realm side, okay, Harak's S plus for sure, Lily May's S plus, okay. Lenya and okay, I think Odie, okay, I think if you are looking at Dream Realm as a whole, from the pre-Endless all the way to Endless, I think Lenya and Odie is S. Yeah, okay guys, I think for this one we have to treat Dream Realm as a pre-Endless all the way to Endless, because I think for Prydwen side, right, they want to cater to as many players as possible. So in terms of the ratings itself, if you were to consider the factor of some units being extremely good in the pre-Endless side, like Elena and Odie, then I think yeah, they're okay for the S. So okay, fair. I think they are okay for the S side. Then Lily May and Harak definitely top tier for sure, but I think Harak's more endless by nature. In fact, right, I think they should probably put Sonja in S+. Yeah, for the specialist side. So I think they haven't included Sonja here, but I'm just gonna say for them, Sonja is S+ for the specialist side. I think they haven't updated it. So Odie and Lenya, considering pre-endless them being really good, I guess you can put them in the S tier. Yeah. But endless mode, yeah, they fall off quite a bit, so that's that. And then Merrily Vala, yeah, fair, all these are okay here. Elsa's very, very niche for specific bosses. But I think for the Dream Realm side, let's just take a look at like all the different boss ratings. Yeah, I think it's much more accurate to look at this because they have an overall Dream Realm only table. So let's take a look at Harak. Okay, yeah, so everything's pretty good. Yeah, except for Croaker and Alpha Bear. Okay, fair. Fresto's pretty much in meta for every boss, fair. Mikola's pretty much used in all boss, fair. Lily may, yeah. Actually, let me just take a quick glance at Croaker. Yeah, I think Croaker runs Harak as well, to be honest. So the thing about Harak is Harak has a lot of RNG. I think Harak is a crazy good bossing character, but like he has a lot of RNG to consider. Okay, so we don't run Harak in Croaker because of the insta Q. Fair, so A is fair. So one thing about him in Croaker as well as Alpha Bear is because his melee, so he can fall to the mechanics of the boss really fast, which makes him less optimal there compared to Lily May, so I think it's fair. Crystal Beetle is always magical damage centric, so being a physical attacker is not that good for him, so that's why A for Crystal Beetle. But everything else S+, maybe even S++ in terms of damage potential. Okay, so everything's accurate. Lily May is pretty accurate. Smokey is pretty accurate as well. Okay, because of resonating spell, Smokey is usable in Necro Dragon. Snow Stomper though, honestly speaking, yeah, I guess if you look at the meta perspective, because resonating spell is a thing, you can send Smokey in and then resonate Smokey for him to not be silenced by the boss that much and still do quite a bit of damage. Okay, fair. But like this is all built on the fact that we have resonating. Without resonating, I think he won't be this tier. So this is specifically this season, so I guess it's fair. Kruger's okay. Yeah, S across the board. Same thing as Harak, I think. Basically, he's a very good partner to Harak because he buffs up Harak's damage by quite a bit. So S across the board, similar to Harak, I think is fair. Maybe not so much for Alpha Bear though. Yeah, I don't think Alpha Bear actually runs physical teams in general. So Kruger's case maybe A tier for Alpha Bear, but generally accurate. Coco is okay. Like I mentioned, Coco is this character that is a lot stronger pre-endless. So if you were to base her off endless, where you want to jam in as much damage as possible before you die, before the time ends, then Coco might not be as strong. But if you were to judge Coco from the early pre-endless all the way to endless side, I can see why she's given S tier across the board. So it's fair. She's obviously not in like the max damage comms, but she's usable across multiple different teams for maximum damage before that. So yep, fair. Maybe I'll say for Coco's case, maybe in certain bosses where she don't see you, she should be A tier. Also is one boss that she don't see use at all. She sees use in Crystal Beetle, sees use in Skyclops, okay. Croaker fair. Necro Dragon arguable. Snow Stomper is okay. Long Gaze is okay as well. Alpha Bear definitely has a slot for her because shielding is better than healing there. So maybe for Necro Dragon, not so good because like Necro Dragon can cause her to not use her ultimate, and then at the same time Necro Dragon prefers mobile character, so maybe she's a little bit lower here, but generally S tier I think is fair. Reina definitely fair. Generally just usable across the board. Sometimes maybe not the strongest teams, but definitely can be a good unit for the Dream Realm side. So Shakir's case, Shakir is a unit that shines a lot better in the endless mode. So she's used in meta teams for Alpha Bear, used in Crystal Beetle, I think used across multiple different min-maxing teams at the higher levels, but in a pre-endless stage, Shakir is not actually the best. So if you were to combine those factors together, I guess it's fair to put him in the S tier. Endless side, I think Shakir is SS tier. S+ tier, because the charm set makes him so much better, makes his buff a lot stronger. But in a pre-endless mode, let's say if you just started the game or if you just started the season, then he's probably just S, I guess. Yeah, looking at that perspective, so he'll be better into the later stages. But if you are just starting off, maybe not so good. Now, for Odie's case, yes. To be fair, I can agree with most of Odie's pointer. Not so good in Necro Dragon and not so good in Long Gaze. Cause yeah, takes like the Long Gaze takes a lot of reduced damage from Odie within the miss. So that's that. Lenya's S tier, fair. B against Croaker, yeah, insta Q. Melee units are not good against Croaker because you sort of have to arrange your unit so that you don't get affected by the insta Q too much. Slow Stomper, yes, because Lenya's not able to cast her skill, so she's not gonna max out her damage, not gonna use her ultimate a lot. Alpha Bear B though, questionable. Because I think Lenya sort of is similar to Sylvina there, so I think could be an A tier. The melee unit against Alpha Bear, okay, maybe if you consider the hardification, yes. Yeah, I guess. So yeah, fair. Talon across the board as S+ for Croaker for sure, yes. Skyclops for AoE damage, Necro Dragon for massive damage and revive. Snow Stomper, specifically Talon, I think Snow Stomper is B though. Yeah, like Talon is just not as good without her skill. And the thing is, like, her skill is a consistent damage output, whereas for Smokey's case, right, you can still use Resonating Spell for Smokey to cast a skill to reach the third damage ultimate to do massive damage. Whereas for Talon's case, right, yeah, you use the Resonating Spell for her, she's still not able to channel her ultimate for the full duration and she loses quite a bit of damage. So that's why I think her rating here should be a little bit lower. Long Gaze is as okay, Alpha Bear is as fair. Olsen, decent, usable. I think falls off. Talon is one of those characters that falls off towards the Endless side. But like if I were to consider her early to Endless usage, I guess, yeah, fair enough. Crystal Beetle for sure, cause magical damage dealer, one of the best. So for Torrent's case, Torrent, okay, Torrent's definitely S for Croaker. Insta Q for sure. Necro Dragon, A, okay. Skyclop, A. As for Snow Stomper, yes, cause he can debuff with the charm ability through normal attacks. So silencing him in Snow Stomper is actually really good. Yeah, Long Gaze S, Alpha Bay S, okay. Olsen is A. To be fair, I think Torrent could be a little bit higher for Olsen. Because he's seeing some meta use in Olsen as well. Towards the Endless stage, and he has always been this very consistently good protector and debuffer for the team if you have the charm skill. So yeah, but the overall rating S is fair. So all the overall rating I think is fair, but just very niche ratings on certain characters. So that's that. And then Scarlita's case, A. Okay, I don't know. Scarlita, I don't think Scarlita's that good. Like, okay, specifically for this season, let's see when's their change log. Yeah, okay, specifically for this season, I also don't think Skylar is that strong. And like she doesn't offer a particular niche. So Skylar is a B tier character across the board for Dream Realm. So like I'm just gonna say that, like, honestly speaking, I think she's still good PvP and elsewhere, but just not Dream Realm side. For Sinbad's case, fair. Yeah, fair. A for Snow Stomper, debuff. Yeah, you can use physical attack, but the debuff is still usable. Okay. Long Gaze for sure. Melee teams, physical teams, yes. Crystal Beetle B, yes, cause not magical damage dealer. Olsen, usable. Cause Olsen has damage mitigation, so his EX7 debuff is definitely usable there. So A is fair. Alpha Bear is fair as well. For the debuff in attack, so that you can slow down the damage output of the boss. So merely Corinne dropped down a little bit. Okay, fair. I think across the board, Merely still has some use against Skyclops summons. Okay, Necro Dragon, yes, cause hiding mobile. Same thing for Corinne. I think Corinne can be S for Necro Dragon as well. Snow Stomper, yes. Still one of the good units to break out the Ice Prism. Not good against Long Gaze for sure, yes. Alpha Bear S. Honestly speaking, I don't think Merrily is S for Alpha Bear. Probably an A tier or even a B tier here. Yeah, like as much as Merrily's damage output fell, she still has good mechanism against Skyclops, Necro Dragon, as well as Snow Stomper. So she's definitely still usable if you have her built up. But the thing about her in Long Gaze is she's unusable. Alpha Bear, I think, is also quite unusable because she doesn't help you much against the honeyfication process. So that's that. Okay, but be across the board. Okay, so everything else below that, I'm not going to talk about them because, yeah, they don't see too much of a use. But the Korean... Okay, we're just going to judge all the A level characters or A tier characters because the rest just don't see too much use and they don't see too much text anyway. Elsa. Okay, I'll talk about those units that see some use, okay? So, Korean, fair. Yes, Alpha Bear Korean is actually really good because of the shielding and also the 2-tower attack range which you can abuse, so it's quite fair. Olsen is fine as well, but I think Light Bearer side is not the strongest pairing for Olsen, so guess their ratings drop a little bit. So for Crystal Beetle, as long as you're not a magical damage dealer, your rating is minimally a A or below for sure. So yeah, this is fair. That's that. A, okay. No, so fair. But I think for Marilee's case, I think you can drop her tiers to generally A as well. Cause like I don't think she's a S tier per se, cause damage wise, right? A pre-endless you have OD. So I think if you have a choice between OD and Marilee, I think Marilee is definitely much lower in priority. And then in endless mode, I think she does more than OD, but in endless mode, then you have Resto, you have Lily May, which sort of makes her pales in comparison. So I do think she's usable, but definitely by no means S tier, like not like that high in terms of the power level per se. But still, Titan Reaver, she's still performing there, so yeah, it's kind of subjective on how you see it. Okay, fair. I think if you look at her being the old queen of Dream Realm, giving her the S rank out of respect is fair. But I will give her A rank because comparing her to general meta, not so good. Okay, now for the Korean side, yeah, generally fair. Florabelle, AAAB. Florabelle is actually pretty okay as a physical damage dealer. Yeah. But Florabelle for Dream Realm, what synergy does he have? I mean, I think she's usable in the early stages, like pre-endless. But, is she that usable against Croaker? I don't think so though. I don't think so. Against Cyclops, I guess like those additional summons can do some additional damage to remove the summon, so that's fair. But I don't think Croaker Florabelle is a Croaker material. Not Necro Dragon for sure, because she don't move that much. Snow Stomper, I think, yeah, Snow Stomper is good. Her summons actually help to break out of the prison much faster, so A is fair here. Just here should be a B. And then Long Gaze, yeah, Long Gaze is fair as well. A bit for the Long Gaze to jump around. Alpha Bear, okay, summons I think does slow down the Alpha Bear Honey a little bit. So usable. I can say you can put an A here. Olsen, no, I don't think Florabelle's that good against Olsen, to be honest. Yeah, generally speaking, right, most of these units that don't see too much use, I would just give them mostly Bs. But I guess if you were to use them on, hey, if you don't have the best, can you use these units for these bosses? I think Florabelle is okay, but not for Croaker, not for, I don't think she's that good for Snow Stomper. Okay, Snow Stomper fair, can use because you use it to break out the prison. Not so good for Crystal Beetle, not so good for Olsen. That's that. Yeah, the rest I think still usable. So if you look at that, I think Florabelle can be a A. For Bryan's case, Bryan's definitely usable across the board for his single target damage as well as his debuff potential. So I guess if we go by Croaker being weak to the magical team, as for sure. Now for Ludovic's case, Ludovic is A tier, so S plus for Croaker. Yeah, this is endless mode by the way. So I think a lot of Ludovic's ranking got amped up or brought up because of the endless bosses, because of the HP percentage damage coming out from the third skill with the skill power. So to be fair, if you see Ludovic in the endless Dream Realm bosses, which is currently Long Gaze, Olsen as well as Alpha Bear, and also Croaker, yeah, definitely S tier minimally. But that is mostly in the endless side. Pre-endless, you still don't see that much of Ludovic in the first place. Oops, accidentally kicked out the tier list. So that's that, but fair. Honestly speaking, I will give Ludovic a little bit higher though. Yeah, I'll give Ludovic a little bit higher. Cause like, I honestly think Ludovic is generally a S tier character, even pre-endless, because you can use him for the charm buff and also for the heal for the team in case you don't have Coco or Smokey. But the toughest part in the early game will be competing against Coco and Smokey. But I would say I can give Ludovic generally an S tier just based off his power level in Endless and his general versatility. So Ludovic should go up a little bit higher. So that's for the Dream Realm side. Reese, okay. Okay. Tamasia, yeah, Tamasia used to be usable with Corinne and Merrily for like all the Necro Dragon and stuff, so I think she's pretty much still going to be usable there, but definitely has fallen off. So like, I think for Tamasia's S ranking itself, right, I'll give her A tier max. Yeah, so I think this S level side should be A tier max for Tamasia's case. So this is just my opinion. So Scarlita should go down. I don't think she's that good for the Dream Realm side, at least this season. So for the rest, okay, Elsa's particularly good against Crystal Beetle as well as Olsen. So if you were to just grade it based off her usage for these two bosses, I can give Elsa the A tier. Yeah, so Ludovic can go up to S tier, Elsa can be A tier in terms of just purely how strong she is in the endless mode for these two bosses. So one is because the boss is weak to magical damage and Elsa can spam her magical skills, and then the other one is because she's able to break the fairy stack of Olsen, so S plus for sure. So other than that, I think the rest of the other characters are not that relatable for the Dream Realm side, so we are not gonna cover them. Oh, lastly, yes, Sonja. Sonja's easily S plus across most of the units because of her general versatility and her strengths pre-endless, and also how much damage M she can provide for your carry. So if your team can slot her in and you have the units to make her work, I think she's S plus for sure across most of the bosses. So that's for the Dream Realm side. I will give Sonja at least a S plus. Yeah, because she's good pre-endless, and even in the endless mode you can slot her into most teams to increase your damage. That's why I think she's worthy of the S plus. Probably gonna be a star to watch out for in the pre-endless mode in the next season. So that's for the Dream Realm side. Now let's move back to the last one, which is the PvP side. Okay, so let's see whether or not there's any major things that I want to talk about. Yeah, everyone's in the correct position. Other fell off a little bit, yeah, because now Hara is just really strong, and Diano comp really powerful, and Lily is just like the more optimal Wilders carry position. Tasi as well, so that's why I think that's why Arden fell off a little bit, unfortunately. Odie should be S plus, okay, because Odie is one of those like viable character against the Mauler factional talent. So please shift Odie up. I think Odie is definitely worthy of the S plus. Normal arena, you might not see Odie a lot, but you use him as a tech hero, right? In the seasonal factional talent side, you need Odie to insta-kill the Mauler factional talent. So I think Odie is definitely worthy of the S plus side in the PvP category. Iron is definitely still S plus, to be honest. Like, you use him as a Lily May bait, you use him with Iron Armor's control, and you still use him with certain magical teams such as Tasi, just him alone for the magical defense debuff. Carolina fallen off, Sinbad usable, not the strongest as fair. Taylor is good in the Arena V special, but honestly speaking, I think Arena V special is quite easy to break. So Taylor's not that scary. I think okay for S, but not S plus, yeah. Shakir, same thing. Shakir is strong once she's transformed, but still have ways to deal with him before that. Honestly speaking, I think Dan is S plus for PvP for sure. Yeah. Really, Dan is S plus for, like, there's so many teams that just get shut down by him alone. And he's meant to be PvP S plus for sure. So Dan should go up. Fresto should also go up. Cause like, there's so many teams that are running Fresto with all the buffs that he can provide for your backlines, and the amount of stats he provides is just massive. So Torrent is definitely still S plus there, because if Torrent ultimate and he is able to deliver massive damage, he pretty much wins you the game on his own, and he's also a good answer against Hara. But for Dan's case, I think he's S plus because this unit just shuts down so many meta comps and is so good with some of the really powerful units in the meta that he's definitely worthy of the S plus tier. Fresto, generally usable, offers quite a massive stat, so S plus for sure as well, with all the boosts, the stat as well as his tankiness. I almost fell off a little bit because Iron almost got shut down quite hard by Lily May, and then got shut down even harder by Dunleer, and then with Harald being able to steamroll really fast, it's not as strong as it used to be. So yeah, fair. So most of the units are fair. I think Sonja's S though, to be honest. Sonja's really good in PvP. Yeah. I have a lot of ideas, combos that I try with her, and it works. So I think she's S for sure. Yeah. Luca needs more testing, but I think to be fair right now, I'll put him in the A tier. Mikola, Ludovic A tier, PvP yes. Brutus A tier yes. Lucius is still quite good in certain matchups. So A is okay. So for the A tier side, I think everything is fair. But I'll put Sonja a tier up. Maybe Sylvina a tier up, because I think Sylvina being able to snipe off certain key targets is quite useful. Like, it's like you put Lenya here. I can see why Lenya is strong in PvP, right? So Sylvina is basically like something similar to Lenya. Just the way they do things is very different. So I can agree with Lenya being S tier, but Sylvina should also be in S tier if Lenya is in S tier. So that's for the PvP side. Yeah, but the rest is agreeable, except for Sonja, maybe in S tier as well. Luca, I will put him up more if I've seen more potential with him. But him with Sonja together is actually one tier upgrade. So that's that. Yeah, fair. Yeah, Tamija's not that good. Smokey's not that good for PvP, yes. Okay, Anthendra, yes. Anthendra right now, I'll shift her to A tier, because Anthendra is actually really strong against some of the meta comps, specifically physical teams in general, specifically Harald teams in general. So with physical teams rising up, Anthendra's value actually rise up in the PvP side. I've used Anthendra to answer a lot of the physical comps in the Supreme Arena side, which I plan to release the video in the next few days. But Anthendra is actually quite decent. I do think that she's not very powerful like S plus tier, but definitely A tier worthy. So I'll shift her up. Lumon, okay. Yeah, I think Lumon's mostly used for the factional talent side, so to be fair, yeah. Then the rest is in C tier, so not gonna talk too much about them. So that's pretty much it for Prydwen's tier list, right? We try to cover everything, right? Hopefully Prydwen's tier list is something that you agree with. Let me know what you think about the tier list, whether or not there are certain things which you disagree, as well as you know, where you will put certain units based on your own opinions. As usual, I'll link up Prydwen's website in the description down below, and that's it for this video. I'll see you guys again in the next AFK journey video. Bye guys.